I'm here at the Lord's Museum, where a new exhibition has just opened exploring the links between community and cricket. Let's go and have a look. Our tour guide is Neil Robinson, MCC's Head of Heritage and Collections. Neil, tell us about the idea behind the exhibition.
Well, the idea behind the community gallery is really to have a permanent space within the MCC Museum where individual community groups can come in and tell their own stories of their relationship with cricket, one after the other, simply using our experience and our facilities. But it really grew out of an approach to us back in 2019 from two Jewish MCC members, Zaki Cooper and Daniel Lightman, who wanted to do a small display on Jewish cricket and cricketers. So it's really appropriate that the very first community gallery exhibition is based on their work.
Well, we're covering an Ashes series, and where better to start than a baggy green? What's the story behind this?
Well, this baggy green cap was awarded to Ruth Buckstein back in 1988 when she played one test match for Australia against England at Hove. Never played another test. She did score 80 odd on debut, but she also, she's a World Cup winner. She played many ODIs for Australian women, including a World Cup final win over England. And so she had a very successful career, and we're grateful to Ruth for actually shipping her baggy green over specifically for this exhibition. She still lives in Melbourne. Ivan Barrow of the West Indies, who toured here in 1933, scored what's still the only test century by a Jewish cricketer, put on a great partnership with George Headley at Old Trafford and made a great century there. So there are plenty of examples of the Jewish contribution to the game at the very highest level, not forgetting, of course, the great Ali Bakr, South African captain of that great side at the end of the 60s and later a really significant administrator of the game. This is the blazer of Sido Lynn, South African Jewish cricketer who toured England in 1960. He was actually born Sidney Olinsky, the son of a kosher butcher in the Baltic states. But he changed his name to sound more Irish, thinking that it would be easier to deal with anti-Irish prejudice than anti-Jewish prejudice. So an interesting take in what you would think of as the home of discrimination in cricket, South Africa during the apartheid era, and yet we have examples like Sido Lynn who managed to prosper despite all that.
I remember as a child wearing ceremonial fringes to attend synagogue. These are obviously a very special pair. What's the story behind these?
These tzitzit were worn by Mandy Yakad, the South African international cricketer. He came to prominence as an opening batsman in South Africa during the years of sporting isolation, so sadly never got to play Test cricket. But he was a member of the South African side that toured India to play some one-day internationals, their very first matches after their readmission to the international cricket structures in the early 1990s, and he actually wore these tzitzit while playing against India in one-day international cricket. I don't know of any other example of a Jewish cricketer wearing this garment during an international match. So it's quite unique for us. We've never had tzitzit on display in the museum before, and it's obviously the most Jewish item in an exhibition about Jewish cricket and cricketers. So we're delighted to have been able to ship it over for this exhibition. We've also got elements of Israeli cricket and, not forgetting, the Maccabiah Games, the Jewish Olympics. The exhibition's really well timed because last year the England men's team actually won the gold medal at the Maccabiah Games for cricket for the first time since 1957. And when we were first developing the exhibition, we didn't even realise that cricket had featured in the Maccabiah in 1957. There was no record on the Maccabiah Games website. It was only because one of our own tour guides here at Lord's, a man called Lionel Frumpkin, wandered into the office while we were putting this together, said, "We played in 57, I was in the team, here's my winner's certificate." And there we have it, Lionel's winning certificate and a nice photo of him with the men's team manager from last year. So it's wonderful how sometimes these serendipitous moments happen when you're putting an exhibition together.
After the Maccabiah Games' success last year, who knows whether someone might be inspired after looking around this gallery and become England's first ever male Jewish Test cricketer.